Most people think working from home means freedom, but whether you're in the US, Canada, Australia, London, or anywhere in the world, 73% of home entrepreneurs burn out faster than office workers. They escape the 9-to-5 prison, only to build a new cage at home, endless tasks, chasing clients, anxiety, and sweatpants. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics taught one simple truth: clarity first, calm action second. They knew wealth should serve you, not own you. They knew true discipline creates peace, not panic. Today, that wisdom can save your remote business from burnout and help you build real freedom. In this video, I'll show you 3 timeless principles to build a profitable home business without stress or hustle culture. How to clear mental clutter before doing any task. How to run a calm business that doesn't chain you to your phone. How to build wealth that frees you, not traps you. Old wisdom, new world. Same truth. Let's begin. The myth: working from home means freedom. The truth: thoughtful. Whether you're in the US, Canada, London, Australia, or anywhere, if you don't set clear boundaries, that freedom quietly turns into burnout. Hustle culture says, do more. Stoic builders, they do what matters. If your calendar is full but your mind is loud, you didn't escape the trap. You just changed the scenery. Burnout doesn't come from working hard. It comes from working without alignment. I've watched hundreds of entrepreneurs swap office cubicles for home prisons. Same stress, different walls. You wake up, grab your laptop, and suddenly it's 11 p.m. You're busy but broke, productive but purposeless. Your mind is loud with anxiety. Sound familiar? Most home businesses don't fail in a dramatic collapse. They suffocate quietly under endless tasks that feel urgent but mean nothing. After studying over 200 remote entrepreneurs, here's what I found. The ones who thrive aren't the busiest, they're the most intentional. Look at Sarah in Austin. She built a $50K consulting business, working just 25 hours a week. Her secret? She said no to 80% of the noise so she could focus on the right 20% that made her money and protected her peace. Or Marcus in London. He left his finance job by building a single digital product that solved one specific problem. While others chased 12 revenue streams, he mastered one. Hustle culture says, chase more. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, built calm empires by focusing on what mattered, not what was loud. So how do you apply this today? Here's what I call the Stoic Remote Business Framework, a simple, repeatable way to build a calm, profitable business without stress or hustle. So here's mistake number 1 that's keeping you trapped in the chaos cycle. You think being busy means being productive. Your mental clarity determines your business trajectory. Most entrepreneurs treat their mind like a browser with 47 tabs open, then wonder why everything crashes. Stillness isn't passive, it's strategic precision. You make your best decisions when your thoughts aren't scattered across 17 different priorities. Here's what I mean. Last month I worked with a client, let's call him David, who was making $30,000 a month, but felt like he was drowning. 14-hour days, constant anxiety, checking emails at 2 a.m. His problem wasn't his business model, it was his mental operating system. People over-engineer their funnels, but underdevelop their mental frameworks. David was reacting to everything instead of responding to what mattered. Ancient wisdom teaches us what modern entrepreneurs forget. External mastery begins with internal discipline. Think about the most successful leaders throughout history. They weren't the most frantic. They were the most centered. Here's the shift. Real entrepreneurs aren't addicted to chaos. They're addicted to clarity. Business precision starts with mental precision. Before you optimize your funnel, optimize your focus. Before you scale your systems, scale your decision-making capacity. Internal order creates external results. When David learned to pause before reacting, to create space between trigger and response, his revenue stayed the same, but his stress dropped by 70%. Same business, different operating framework. But here's mistake number 2, and this one's even more dangerous because it feels like progress. You're confusing motion with true momentum. You're moving fast, but toward what? Most people escape their 9-to-5 only to create a 24-to-7 that's even more demanding. They think freedom means working whenever they want, but real freedom means knowing when not to work, Busyness is addictive. It gives you the illusion you're winning the day, but without clear direction, it's just motion without meaning. Stay with me, because mistake number 3 blindsided me in my own journey, and it's the silent killer of freedom. But first, let me show you exactly how this stillness strategy works in practice. I call it the decision architecture method. Every morning before I touch my phone, before I check anything, I spend exactly 7 minutes in what I call strategic silence. Not meditation, not journaling, just thinking. I ask myself 3 questions. What's the one thing that moves my business forward today? What am I avoiding that I need to face? What urgent thing can I ignore because it's not actually important? This simple practice has generated more revenue than any funnel hack I've ever learned. Here's why it works. Most entrepreneurs operate from their amygdala, the fear center of the brain. Every notification triggers fight or flight. Every email feels urgent. Every opportunity feels like it might be the last one. But when you create space between stimulus and response, you activate your prefrontal cortex, the strategic thinking center. That's where million-dollar decisions get made. I learned this from studying how ancient leaders made decisions under pressure. They didn't have access to endless information like we do. They had to think clearly with limited data. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not because the future doesn't matter, but because clarity in the present moment creates the best possible future." Here's what happened when I implemented this. Month 1, I said no to 3 opportunities that would have made me money but pulled me off course. Month 2, I identified the one marketing channel that was actually working and doubled down instead of spreading myself thin across 7 platforms. Month 3, I made one strategic partnership decision that generated more revenue than the previous 6 months combined. The difference? I wasn't making decisions from scarcity or FOMO. I was making them from strategic clarity. But here's where most people get this wrong. They think stillness means doing nothing. Wrong. Stillness means doing the right things with laser precision instead of doing everything with scattered energy. It's the difference between a shotgun and a sniper rifle. But here's where most people hit a wall. They know what to do, but they fail to execute because they're trapped in the wrong business model. Not all remote businesses are created equal. Some demand endless hustle. Others reward focused calm. After studying successful remote entrepreneurs across the US, Canada, Australia, and the UK over the past few years, I found 3 models that actually give you freedom, instead of stealing it. Model 1, digital education. Courses, coaching, or workshops done strategically. Instead of launching 27 random offers, master one transformation that solves a real problem. Look at the best education brands. They don't try to teach everything to everyone. They own one clear outcome. The principle? Depth beats breadth. Depth builds lasting wealth. When you become the go-to expert for one specific result, people pay premium prices, and they refer others without you asking. Model 2, productized services. Turn your expertise into repeatable, predictable offers. No custom quotes, no endless revisions. Clear boundaries from day 1. Businesses using productized service models often see 100+ year-over-year growth because clients know exactly what they're getting. Think of it like this. Instead of reinventing the wheel for every client, you become the specialist who delivers the same excellent result through a proven system. Same expertise, predictable delivery, scalable income. Model 3, wisdom assets. Templates, toolkits, digital downloads, assets you build once and sell repeatedly. No live calls, no customer support headaches, pure leverage. Your work earns while you rest. Business owners crave practical shortcuts, proposal templates, social media packs, ready-to-use financial spreadsheets. Each of these models shares 2 key traits. Low stress to manage, no constant fires to put out. High leverage over time, your effort compounds while your freedom grows. Here's what most entrepreneurs miss. You don't need a huge team, you need a clear lane. The ancient Stoics knew this. Focus creates force. Try to serve everyone, you serve no one well. Try to do everything, you do nothing exceptionally. But when you pick one model and master it fully, you build something that serves you instead of enslaving you. So the real question isn't which model is best, it's which one matches your natural strengths and your ideal lifestyle. Love teaching and have deep expertise? Digital education. Prefer systems and repeatable processes? Productized services. Want maximum freedom with minimal ongoing effort? Wisdom assets. Even before entrepreneurship was a word the great minds understood. Control your mind and you control the outcome. Your business model should amplify your peace, not destroy it. But here's the final piece 99% never consider, and it's the difference between building true freedom or burning out within 2 years. You're trying to discipline your way out of a design problem. You think willpower will save you, but willpower is finite, systems are infinite. Most remote entrepreneurs fail because they're fighting their environment instead of designing it. They rely on motivation instead of automation. They depend on discipline instead of structure. They hope for focus instead of creating conditions for it. Here's what I learned from studying how ancient leaders managed empires without modern technology. They didn't work harder, they worked within better frameworks. Marcus Aurelius didn't manage Rome through sheer willpower. He built systems that worked whether he felt motivated or not. Modern translation: your business should run on rails, not on your daily energy levels. Let me show you the 3 system pillars that separate calm entrepreneurs from chaos addicts. Pillar 1, batching beats multitasking. Your brain wasn't designed to switch between 17 different tasks. Every context switch costs you 23 minutes of deep focus. Instead of checking emails all day, batch them into 2 30-minute windows. Instead of jumping between client calls, content, and admin, dedicate specific days to specific functions. Monday, strategy and planning. Tuesday through Wednesday, deep work and creation. Thursday, client communication and calls. Friday, admin and systems optimization. This isn't rigid scheduling, it's cognitive protection. When David, one of my clients, implemented batching, his productivity increased 40% while working 15 fewer hours per week. Same tasks, better sequence, less mental friction. Pillar 2, boundaries beat people pleasing. Every yes to the wrong thing is a no to the right thing. Most remote entrepreneurs become slaves to other people's urgencies because they haven't defined their own priorities. Here's my boundary framework. Before 10 a.m., no meetings, no calls, no reactive work, sacred creation time. After 6 p.m., business mode is off. No exceptions. Weekends, complete digital detox from business communications. These aren't suggestions, they're non-negotiables. When you protect your peak energy for your most important work, everything else gets easier. Pillar 3, deep work beats reactive work. Shallow work feels productive, but creates no real value. Deep work feels challenging, but creates lasting results. Most entrepreneurs spend 80% of their time on shallow work. Emails, social media, busy tasks that move nothing forward. The top 1% flip this ratio. They spend 80% on deep work, strategy, creation, high-value moves that compound. Here's the shift. Don't just ask, what needs to be done today? Ask, what needs to be done today that only I can do? Everything else? Delegate, automate, eliminate. Peace isn't a reward you get after you build your business. It's part of the system design from day one. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years ago. Sustainable frameworks, not heroic efforts. Your remote business should feel calm, not chaotic. Intentional, not reactive. Sustainable, not exhausting. But here's the final piece most people miss, and it's the difference between building a business that serves you or one that enslaves you. Here's the mistake that killed my first attempt at financial freedom. I thought more tactics meant more growth. Dead wrong. These 3 ancient rituals that Roman emperors used will build passive income while you sleep. The third one is counterintuitive. But first, if you're working 80-hour weeks in your remote business, you didn't escape the 9-to-5, you created a digital prison. Here's the antidote. Ritual 1, the monthly freedom audit. The Stoics had a practice called evening reflection, strategic assessment, not reactive worry. 3 questions that expose if you're building real financial freedom or just expensive self-employment. Question 1. Am I creating systems or trading time? If you stop working for 30 days, does money still flow? If not, you built a job, not a business. Question 2. Can this scale without me? Your business should grow while you sleep. If it dies when you take a vacation, it's not scalable. Question 3. Does this serve my 10-year vision? Most people optimize for quarterly results. Winners optimize for decade dominance. I audit monthly, takes 30 minutes. Saved me from 3 business disasters that would have cost me years. The second ritual is what Seneca called otium, productive solitude, and it's not what you think. Ritual 2, strategic silence protocol, 1 hour weekly, 0 notifications, 0 inputs, pure strategic thinking. Here's what nobody tells you about remote work success. Thoughtful, your brain needs boredom to create breakthroughs. When you're constantly consuming content, you're never creating solutions. During this hour, ask 3 questions. What's my next strategic move? What am I avoiding that I should face? What opportunity am I missing because I'm too busy? Seneca understood this principle. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. This hour prevents that waste. I know 7-figure online business owners who guard this hour like their life depends on it, because their financial freedom does. But the third ritual separates successful entrepreneurs from those who burn out chasing passive income. Ritual 3, the 1% compound system. 1 micro-action daily that serves your long-term wealth vision. Examples: write 1 paragraph of your book, send 1 strategic email, learn 1 skill for 15 minutes, create 1 piece of valuable content. Small? Yes. Insignificant? Never. 1% daily improvement equals 37x growth in 1 year. That's not motivation, that's mathematics. Epictetus taught his students about preferred indifferent, small actions that create massive results over time. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a decade. These aren't productivity hacks, they're wealth rituals. And in the final segment, I'll reveal the 1 mindset shift that separates 6-figure remote entrepreneurs from those who fail. Welcome to the Business Vault. You don't need louder marketing. You need quieter mastery. You don't need more hustle. You need more harmony. You don't need to escape a 9-to-5 only to build a mental prison. Challenge. Before you buy another course, sit in silence and ask, am I building from alignment or from addiction to approval? If the answer stings, good. That's where real growth begins. Here's what separates empire builders from content consumers. First, tap that red button below this video. Why? Because 3,959 people watched our content last month as strangers. Only 76 watched as Vault members. The difference: Vault members get frameworks 7 days before everyone else. They're building while others are still searching. Second, drop your most honest answer. What silent habit will you start tomorrow? The most authentic response becomes our next case study. Real name, real results, real recognition. Third, send this to exactly 1 person who still thinks success requires noise. Watch their perspective shift. That's real influence. The reality? 4.8 billion people scroll YouTube daily. 170 join the Business Vault. You found us for a reason. This isn't trendy, it's timeless. Let's build not louder, but deeper. Not faster, but clearer. Because your business is the engine, but your mind is the driver. Welcome to the Business Vault. Let's get to work.